Yeah, we do have lesbian haircuts.
Pokemon, I choose you. Welcome to the Bad Reading Podcast. I'm Atlas Novak. I'm one of your hosts, and who else is with me today?
I am here.
I'm here too.
Do you guys have names?
I'm your co-host, Nick.
There you go.
I'm your guest, Travis Clyburn.
Welcome to the podcast, Travis Clyburn.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, of course. We're all in different places because it's, COVID times and
end of the world. Yeah.
And you're out in Ohio right now, right?
Unfortunately, yes, I am.
Can you feel the greatness of LeBron? Can you feel it?
He's
left
with us
like
now.
Twice. He's with you guys now in the fires, or he's with Atlas in the fires.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, because Nick's out in Nevada. Is there like smoke in the sky or anything like that there?
Yeah. We actually cook our steaks with the California fire. We don't really have a choice. So
what brought you to Reno? You said that's what Atlas. You're in Reno?
Yeah.
That's incredible. Why?
He really likes
like
Reno 911.
I'm in Ohio because I was born here, but
I'll tell you because comedy has been going very well, and
hey, do you get a residency in Reno? It's a thing that can happen.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I like the city of Reno. It's just I was tired of the traffic and COVID. I got a full-time job out there, which has like advancement opportunity. So it's a boring answer, but that's why I moved out here.
That's a solid human answer.
And rent that doesn't involve your left testicle.
Oh yeah, dude! They tried to do a $400 rent hike on us, and we just left.
Peace.
So bye. That's illegal, by the way.
And all the rich were like, "Now we got rid of all the poor people.
Oh,
now traffic will be easier."
Yeah.
Well, now they did that tax thing, and they're getting rid of all the billionaires are leaving because they're taxing billionaires way too much.
Yeah.
So now there's no rich people or poor people, just crazy people.
Dude, if Joe Rogan left, you know you got issues. I'm sorry.
He's rich and crazy.
He's gone. Yeah. Exactly.
Congrats to Joe Rogan for getting that $100 million deal.
I just like the idea of the entire West Coast being on fire and then all the ghosts of the East Coast rappers being like, we wanted to win, but not like this. But he's like...
New York's pretty fucked up, too.
Yeah, but he's like, I wanted to be magnanimous in victory, but they're all dead.
Travis, do you have thoughts about this?
About East Coast versus West Coast? No.
Yeah.
Not really. East Coast is cold. That's why I went to the West Coast. I only have thoughts and feelings about the entire thing.
I feel like
I hope LA comes back. I hope it's not terrible forever and it's normal once again. But
too late. Everything's ruined forever.
No.
And speaking of ruining things forever, we like to ask our guests, Travis, what is something that you're into?
I'm into a great deal of things. I'm a big Pokémon man. Believe that or not. Me and my girlfriend recently played Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
We got ourselves a Switch. We even got a Switch Lite.
Nice.
That's the one where it doesn't hook up to the TV. It's just the...
Correct, yeah. So one hooks up the TV, and then while I'm playing my game... I was playing a lot of Breath of the Wild, too, which is...
Good game.
Dope.
Go check out the Zelda episode in the backlog if you want more Legend of Zelda.
I can't imagine how dirty that episode probably was.
Kind of. It was... do you remember that movie Shape of Water?
It was a lot like that. Was it with the fish women?
It's with the fish dude and Link hooking up.
The Zoras, I think?
No, it's with the Zoras, but it's Landon Hughes. You guys know Landon Hughes. He was the guest on that one. Yeah.
Yes. Love Landon.
Ruined his day.
No, he really liked it. It was a fun episode. But yeah, so Pokemon, which version did you play and who was your starter?
Okay, well, I for a while was OG 151, being a 30-year-old man. I started with the original 151. After Mew, I was like, these aren't Pokemon. What is it? What is this shit? What is this other extra Pokemon? And until the Alolan Pokemon came out, which was Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
And a girl I was dating at the time convinced me to play it, and I fell back in love with Pokemon. That when Pokemon Go came out, I went hard.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
such a dork.
That
I still play it. I still play that game.
I think that was
Even
the
though no one
last.
plays it anymore.
That was the last summer of peace that the world knew. I
My
think.
God, every millennial, all we wanted to be was Pokemon trainers when we were kids.
Yeah.
And then for one summer, we were all Pokemon trainers.
We were all Pokemon trainers, and it was before Trump was president. It was the last time that everyone was like, we are together as one.
It was a beautiful utopia. Old people were like, yeah, those damn kids and their Pokemon. And we were like, fuck you, old people. And we were all in unity. We all agreed. Even though they broke us into 3 factions with Pokemon Go. You know, Valor and what the fuck ever.
I was the blue one. I can't remember what the name was.
I was red. Actually, when I got with my current girlfriend, I found out she was also the red team. And I was like, I knew I loved you for a reason.
Yeah. Who was your starter in...
Volteon all the way, man.
Who was your starter in Sword and Shield?
Sword and Shield was Litten. Or sorry, not Sword and Shield. No, Sun and Moon, I had Litten.
Yeah, the fire starter.
And dude, for the life of me, in Sword and Shield, I can't remember the fire starter's name.
Score Bunny.
Score Bunny.
That's the one
right.
I had.
Yeah, I love. Well, excuse me. His when Score Bunny. What's Score Bunny's final evolution? If you can remind me.
Cinderace.
Yeah, Cinderace. Like it's supposed to be a hare, whatever. Because the second one's like a pun on a hare as a bunny.
Yeah.
And the third one, yes,
well,
Cinderace.
No, the second one is Raboot, so it's like a soccer hooligan, I thought. And then Cinderace is like just a full-on soccer player.
See, look, I'm already showing my ass. I can't remember all these goddamn names, but still, I still loved it. And Cinderace is a bad motherfucker.
He is.
And especially if you get him to level 100, and then his Pyro Ball, just anything. It's fantastic.
And then and then what's his face? Colossal shows up and he's like, "Steam engine, motherfucker! I'm fast now."
I actually really liked in Sun and Moon, in Sword and Shield. I liked the relationship with the rival. In the old ones, you had Gary, right? In Red and Blue, you had Gary. Gary was a cunt.
Yeah, I liked Gary being a cunt.
Did you? Because I liked in this one, like your rival was kind of like, he might have been a little dumb, you know. He was like, I'm gonna beat you one day, but he was positive. I don't know why. I like that more.
I seriously think this whole presidency is just Donald Trump and his wife Ivanka. I think that's her name. Like they're just Team Rocket, and like at the presidential address,
it's Giovanni.
She's gonna be like, to protect the virtues from devastation.
To unite all peoples within our nation.
Within my nation, it's my nation, it's mine.
Right.
Okay, if Team Rocket ends up in this fanfic, it's Ivanka and Trump. That's the voice we're doing.
I don't think they do, but like when I read this fan fiction, like I laughed immediately. So I was like, okay, this is a good one, because a lot of them are just they're bad, but they're like actually bad. So it's like you get bored within the first 5 seconds.
Right. So this one you believe is solid writing.
No, like this is like it's just good enough to be bad, but it's like funny. That. Those are the ones that I love to find where it's like they are, like there's the simple, like they only write one line, Pikachu go Volteon, Pikachu throw Thunderbolt.
Yeah. But
it's like this one, like this had thought, but this is the type of person that like is super confident about what they wrote, but the teacher was still like, yeah, this is a 69. I'm giving you a 69.
Nice.
Okay, so Atlas, do you want to cue this off?
You picked the story. You kicked us off, my friend.
So this story is called "This Better Just Be a Phase," and the author is Haley.
What can this be about?
This Better Just Be by Haley J. the Bat.
The title makes me think of like. Your mom finds out you play Pokemon, and they're like, "There's better just be a phase." They're like, "It's not a phase, Mom. I'm gonna write fan fiction. I'm gonna show her."
I'm gonna be a trainer forever.
It's not a phase, Mom. It's an evolution. Get with it.
Wait. So what? The name, the Bat? Why wouldn't she be called the Zubat?
Haley J. the Bat. I don't know why she called herself the Bat. Was she like patient zero for this whole thing? Do you think? She's the
bats.
The
bats
Bat.
Aren't really in favor nowadays. People are mad at bats and Chinese people, which, just saying, she might want to change the name.
Listen, Zubat, I still like you. I still like Zubat.
And then Middle
But
Eastern
Zubat's
people are
so-
like, first time. You know.
it's not the bat's fault.
It's not.
We got to draw the line somewhere, okay?
Let's
Just get together with the United Nations and just decide for once, no eating bats.
Yeah.
No,
Plus
no more.
I think
Leave
they're
them
pretty
alone.
cute, you know?
I mean, the UN.
Leave the bats alone.
The UN never doesn't really have much extra judicial power. It's just so you have like an open diplomatic
Oh,
channel.
thank you, Atlas, for telling me that. Now my theory's ruined.
Well, no, but like during the Cold War, they're like, guys, maybe we should like have a chat so we don't nuke each other.
That's exactly what I mean. Let's have a chat. Let's talk about this bat problem because it's kind of fucked up our paychecks.
I
Okay.
don't know that the UN has actually done anything helpful
Kind of
as
no.
far as preventing war or anything. I don't think they've done shit.
It's
they
probably
stand
one of
for
those
bullets.
things where it's like, if it wasn't there, you would notice, right?
Maybe, you know what? I hope that's the case. It's almost
Yeah.
like a producer on a TV show. Like, if he left, all of a sudden we wouldn't have any cakes.
Yes,
You know,
but
we'd be like, wait, where'd all the cakes go? Where's
And then-
the cake guy?
and then also you have like, whenever you see a TV show that's like produced by, you're like, okay, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I have producer podcast credits, and I'm like, I just hit a record button and I went like this. That doesn't mean anything.
The whole time.
Anyone
just
can call
dancing.
themselves a fucking producer.
Mm-hmm.
Just a fun fact. Fun fact for people out there who aren't in the biz.
Okay. Well, anyway, maybe Haley J. the Bat is a producer. Well, she can call herself this.
She produced this.
Haley could call her the author. And Haley, if you're listening to this podcast sometime in the future, we want you to know that we love you, and we think this story is funny, even though you might not think so. But just know that we appreciate you writing this story. We don't personally hate you. We just want to read your story because we think it's funny.
Link to the stories in the show notes for people who want to read it and to give the artist credit. Okay, moving on.
Yes. Okay, now, our story begins with dialogue. Never mind, I'll never try to be nice to you again. That's it'd be too hard for you, Ash snapped.
So Ash is Cartman?
Yeah, that's yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah. Ash is Cartman.
I hate you guys so much.
You son of a bitch.
That's like it's Cartman before he's voice pitched. Like, who voices him? Was it Trey?
Trey,
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I rewatched that episode recently where it's the Crack Baby Athletic Association, and there's that whole scene where he goes to that college in Colorado and he's playing like a antebellum
He's still a
slave owner.
slave trader.
Student athletes. Yeah.
Like, we can guarantee. Well, that's what Pokemon kind of are. They're student athletes who are not paid.
10 years old, you know.
Yeah, Pokemon was ahead of its time. They're bringing up a lot of social issues like why are lizards unpaid? And, who's going to pay for their flame pension program in case it goes out?
It wasn't even like getting paid. It was just like the way that the show makes it sound is they're your companions and they fight for you. I'm like, yeah, but that's like,
You got to make them fight.
yeah. Well,
What's the difference between a Pokemon trainer and Michael Vick?
I don't know, because apparently the Pokemon
badges.
seem okay with it. They're like, yeah, let's do this.
It's badges.
It's badges. If you give someone a badge, it doesn't matter what they did.
Because I got more badges than you. What?
Here's your murder badge.
Because
Well,
I
I mean,
sold
well,
more Thin Mints than you.
Nice. Okay, wait, back to dialogue. Never mind, I'll never try to be nice to you again. That's it'd be too hard for you, Ash snapped. Can you understand me when I talk like that?
Yeah.
The Ash voice is a little difficult, but I think...
Misty glowered, her fists clenched at her sides. Ugh, that is it, Ash Ketchum. I don't care about my bike anymore. You're obviously not man enough to live up to your promises. I'm leaving for good. As in, I'm never, ever coming back. Good. See if I care.
I feel like that kind of takes all the sting out of it. If someone goes, I'm leaving, which means I'm never coming back, you're like, okay, I got it, thanks.
This is an emotional scene, Atlas. Like a lot
I
of.
just like that at the beginning of this, Ash is like every fucking trailer park husband. It's just like, you're no good. Get the fuck out of here. I don't need you. Like, he just got this attitude about him right now.
I'm taking the kids with me, bitch.
I don't need you. You're nothing. You're fucking nothing.
That vest of his that he keeps the badges in is over no shirt. He's just bare chested under it. Like,
he's got like faded Black Panther tattoos. You know what I mean?
God.
Just like that tiger that every white trash person has on their chest.
Ash is the Tiger King for this story.
Yeah. Same tattoos, same piercings.
Ash sighed heavily. His head hung low as he trudged back to the camp. He, Misty, and Brock had set up. Brock was slicing a loaf of bread and humming to himself, and looked up when he heard Ash coming.
did you get some firewood?
No!
I fucking can't. That's amazing.
Brock looked over Ash's shoulder, feeling suspicious. Not another fight. They hadn't gone a day in weeks without one.
Where's Misty?
You have to close your eyes when you say it, or else it's not.
Oh, I gotta do it like this for the
You have
YouTube
to read
people.
like-
Where's Misty?
Good. Ash rolled his eyes.
She's off pouting somewhere. She'll be back before night. She didn't even bother to take her sleeping bag this time.
Ash slumped down on a log and dropped his head into his hands.
What was the fight about?
Brock asked, returning to slicing.
Something stupid.
Ash muttered.
Well, that's nothing new.
Brock smiled at Ash. When the younger boy acted like he didn't even see, the smile quickly turned into a frown.
Sounds serious. Do you want to talk about it?
No. Yes. I don't know.
Ash groaned.
It's all my own. It's all my own stupid fault.
Oh, hey, that's some character development from Ash.
Yeah.
Hey, he's like maybe
taking
it's my
it on.
fault. Yeah, because he's like super not self-aware most of the time.
I know.
I just love that line. When the younger boy acted like he didn't even see. The smile quickly...
That line confuses me. The
Yeah,
younger
it's-
boy, as in Ash?
Yeah, did they mean Ash?
How
Yeah,
old,
well, yeah, Brock is older.
How old are Brock and Misty? Like, Brock is
They're
like
like-
visibly older.
The
He's like
canon
14.
ages, I believe. Yeah, it's like Ash was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Misty was like
Misty's
11. And then Brock was like 14, which is a bit creepy. You're a freshman, bro. Stop hanging out with middle schoolers.
Or in Ash's case, an elementary schooler.
That's a weird
you're
age.
right.
It's a weird age. Like, you can't really have friends when they're 10. When they're 10, when you're 14, you're like, I'm sorry, guys. I have pubic hairs.
But
we
say,
can't
yeah,
hang
that's-
out anymore.
Dude, that's like, 3 years of puberty happened to you hard until 14, Like, that's a completely different type of human right there.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why his eyes don't open.
Brock is a puppy. Brock is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
puppy. He's growing into his eyes.
And his eyes one day will just, oh.
It's just the most beautiful thing we've ever seen. Like Elijah
Yeah.
Wood eyes.
Yeah.
Did you guys
Right,
ever
right,
watch the anime when Ash goes to the Hoenn region? Like that whole season?
I don't think so. What was that one
no.
called? Anything?
Advanced. Pokemon Advanced Challenge, Advanced Battle. Okay, so Brock left after the Johto League, and he's like, I'm going home. And then Ash goes to Hoenn by himself.
Yeah.
And he meets up with May, the insert female character for that season.
Yeah.
And they're being attacked by a bunch of, I think, Talo, whatever the regional bird is. And then Brock literally shows up like out of nowhere and goes like, Fortress explosion, and then his Fortress explodes.
Yeah.
So literally, my headcanon is he's like stalking Ash the whole time. He's like, all right, I gotta choose my moment here. Gotta show
Yeah.
up to look as awesome as possible.
Do you know the real reasons why they took him out of the anime for a while?
Why?
People in Japan were worried, and this is Japan, by the way,
Yeah.
that the eyes would make them think other countries that they were doing a racist stereotype, and they might take it away in America. But then years passed, and seasons passed, and no one gave a shit about his eyes or thought it was racist. And Japan went, "Oh fuck, I guess we'll just put him back in there."
Yeah.
actually what
yeah,
happened.
but see, but he was brown skinned, so it's like the slanty eyes. He's not like overtly Asian. He's like
I
a
didn't even-
mix of like
as a kid, and especially as a kid, no part of me thought he was Asian. I assume maybe from watching it from a white kid perspective, I'm like, he's white and she's white and they're white. I just never thought about it.
It just never popped up in my head at all. I wasn't really thinking about the race at all. And
What
that's-
is Brock's ethnicity? That's a good
cares?
thing we need to talk about.
Literally, who cares?
Yeah.
He's ethnically
He's got
ambiguous.
the most
Just leave it at
almond
that.
eyes.
All that matters is that his eyes are dreamy. All right.
If you open them.
Ash mutters,
Something stupid.
Wait, I lost my place. Oh, something stupid. Well, that's nothing new.
Brock smiled at Ash. When the younger boy acted like he didn't even see, the smile quickly turned into a frown.
Sounds serious. You want to talk about it? Oh,
No. Yes, I don't know.
Ash groaned.
It's all my own stupid fault.
Brock was shocked enough by this announcement to drop the knife he'd been holding.
Ash, are you feeling well?
No!
Yeah, I guess that's pretty obvious.
Brock scratched the back of his head.
You've been gone for a long time. Have you been fighting for that long?
We got into a Pokemon battle.
Ash replied.
Of course.
Brock raised his eyebrows.
Really? Anything new?
I thought you were going to do this with your face, like,
No.
really?
No, not doing it.
Ash shrugged.
Just a stupid Pidgeotto. It was a pretty high level, though.
What Pokemon did you use?
Pikachu, she scampered off when Misty and I started to fight.
Uh-huh. And what was the fight about again?
Ash felt his cheeks grow hot.
I don't know.
I want to know so bad.
Brock was surprised at the look on Ash's face. He knew that look all too well himself. It looked like the boy was having a lot of trouble. So Brock sat down nearby Ash. He patted Ash's shoulder briefly.
You can tell me, you know.
I know.
Ash sighed. He looked out into the forest blankly.
It's really stupid.
I'm sure it's not.
Man, just tell me what the fuck it was.
It's suspense, Travis.
I should have been doing
much.
I should have been doing like a Mr. Rogers voice this whole time, or like
Yeah.
I like this voice for Brock.
what, my normal voice?
I like your voice for Brock.
Okay, sure.
You are
Ash
Brock.
sighed again, louder.
It's just, we thought that Pidgeotto was gonna get us, you know? I mean, it used Fly on Pikachu, and I thought she was done for. But of course, she retaliated with an amazing Thunderbolt.
Ash smiled wistfully.
Isn't Pikachu a boy?
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Its
you keep
cannon
saying she.
has a penis.
What the
A
fuck?
cannon has a penis.
Oh, that's
Not a
nice.
pee-pee.
I just remember the. Oh my god.
That is the stupidest fucking joke I've ever said.
that made me laugh way too hard for how dumb that joke was. Pika pee pee.
I just remember like there's a thing with like someone uses attract on it, and it's like canon that the Pokemon using attract is a girl, so Pikachu has to be a boy because there's no gayness in Pokemon for whatever reason.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Pokemon Journey's just started. We'll see.
What's the Pokeball that only catches homosexual Pokemon?
Pride Ball.
Aha, Bryball, nice.
It's a good one. I saw a tweet the other day that was like, as of today, the nationally legal gay marriage has been around longer than the Confederacy.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
And then under that he goes, "These colors don't run," and then the pride flag.
Oh, that's amazing.
Dude, I love. That's why I love being from Ohio. Even though I'm around a bunch of rednecks, like when people talk about the South, I'm like, "Fuck the South." I'm
Yeah.
from the North.
Yeah,
It's
Ohio
not
was
redneck.
the Union still. Yeah.
Yeah, we were literally the arsenal of the Union. We had all the weapons. We were a big reason why we fucking kicked ass in the South. And so when people are like, "I got Southern pride," I'm like, "You live in Ohio, bitch. Have Union pride. We kicked their ass.
Yeah.
We won. Don't
Yeah,
work for a
'cause,
bunch of losers."
Because Ulysses Grant is like, "Fuck it, meat grinder. We have more people than them."
Yeah, he Russia'd it, but he didn't have enough people like Russia. He just threw as many people as possible at us,
Yeah.
and we burned down their homes.
It worked for the Russians. It worked for us.
it didn't work for them.
Well, in Russia's case, it was like scorched earth while they were retreating with the Union. It's just keep advancing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I thought like Ulysses says I didn't think Pokemon would go into the Civil War, but didn't like Ulysses S. Grant like he was really like unconventional in his fighting tactics or something. Like he was like that dude that just drank whiskey all day and just rammed his head into walls.
Kinda.
Yeah, his glorification blows my mind because he lost the war for the South for sure.
Wait, Grant
No,
or
you mean
Lee?
Not Robert E. Lee.
Robert E. Lee, sorry, yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I
Robert E.
meant.
Lee lost the South. I think it's because like.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's the guy you think of when you think of Cartman's for the Confederacy.
Yeah.
He's chugging a bottle of whiskey. That's Robert E. Lee, right?
Yeah.
There. That's
Dear you guys, I hate you so
for the
much.
Confederacy, and he's just drinking fucking whiskey.
I cannot express my hatred for you guys, for we will win for the Confederacy. Sincerely yours, Cartman Peely, or whatever the fuck. Like,
I miss old South Park. Okay, wait. Then okay, it's your line. The fight, Ash.
the fight, Ash.
It's your line. It's your line.
The fight, Ash.
Brock interrupted firmly.
Oh, right.
Ash's cheeks turned bright red again. He looked down at his shuffling feet.
Well, when we won, Misty sort of grabbed me, you know?
Oh.
He took it out.
A hug? Brock asked gently.
Yeah.
Ash mumbled. He kicked the dirt hard and crossed his arms across his chest.
Have you noticed how much Misty has changed?
Huh? What do you mean?
Ash's cheeks turned even redder.
I mean, she's grown a lot.
Oh no!
Here, I'll take over.
Yeah, I want you to hear your fucking Ash voice.
Brock got it. He sat backwards with a contemplative look. I guess I have
guess
noticed.
I'm Brock now, right?
Or we'll keep being the same voices. I'll just do the narration. That's it.
All right.
Yeah. I guess I have noticed, but I never really thought about it. She's more like a little sister to me. Ash looked very embarrassed at this.
You know what you mean.
He shook his head and rubbed his neck.
I used to think that too. You know, I mean, I never really thought about it. It's just that I guess I thought like that, you know.
Brock raised his eyebrows again. Not really, but go on.
Well, she hugged me, right?
Word.
And I felt how she changed you guys.
Ash's whole face was red now. Oh my god! Do you remember like being a kid and there's the thing where it's like, so any girls in your class? You're like, there's one. She's cool or something.
Oh yeah, I remember my first awkward hug boner. You know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I mean? You're like, oh, she touched me.
Oh God.
You have no ability to even emotionally or mentally wrap your head around what you're feeling. You're just like, oh god.
Yeah.
The
I
worst
remember
is
the
like,
first time.
what?
I remember the first time I got a raging hot for teacher boner.
Dan, 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 dan. The worst is like that first time you kind of come online sexually where you're like, oh no, I'm
unintended.
aroused at everything now.
Oh my god, yeah. It's just like a switch flips one day, and now you have one goal in existence.
And it's the fuck stuff.
You know what I mean? It's so fucking terrible. It's like you used to have fun with Pokemon, and you used to do some fun things, and then one day you're just like, need to fuck. But when you're that young, you have no idea that's even what you need to do.
Pokemon, help me fuck.
Yeah, I see you like Pokemon. Will you be my friend?
What was, do you guys remember that moment for yourselves?
You got one? Nick?
Come back to me. I'll think of it.
I had a teacher named Miss Jones
Okay.
who wore thongs for some reason and bent over frequently.
Good
which
Lord.
I think is, which by the way, thinking about it now, especially being 30, I have a lot of friends that are teachers. Like I've done drugs with some of my friends that are teachers. Like
Right.
teachers are just shit people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
teachers are just you or I. They're just normal fucking people in their late 20s, 30s.
They don't deserve $50K a year. Let's just say that.
But most of them are just, they wanted to be in school forever, and then they went to high school, you know?
They just
So
want to
like
summer
thinking
off.
back on it, I'm like, I wonder how much of a hoe Miss Jones actually was, especially to wear some scandalous shit to fucking to school to teach what, sixth graders?
She a redhead? She a brunette?
Brunette, yeah.
Nice.
I just imagine like her bending over and then everything comes online and then you're like, me and Mrs. Jones.
Nice.
Oh man, yeah. It was. What about? Did you think of one, Nick? Can you remember?
Oh yeah, I had a. It was usually a teacher, but like I think the first girl that I really liked. It was either in it was in. Oh god, it was in choir. I think it was in Catholic choir, and her name was Chloe. She had like that kind of granola blonde short hair, but really like thin and tan. And I'm just like, but like and like. Oh no, that wasn't her. No, it was somebody else. I'm gonna name her. I'm gonna name her anonymously. Her name was no, I'll just say it. It was Caitlin, and she lived down the street. And I don't know whether she cock teased the fuck out of me, but she invited me to come over to her house and wash her car in her swimsuit. And I was the only guy that was invited. And like two of her friends came as well. I'm like, are you trying to like make me? Are you trying to? Like,
You know what dawned on me a lot, like getting older, is thinking back to those times and being like, oh, that girl was into me. But you're just a kid, and you don't know how. Well, listen, like especially as a kid, like I was the best at opening. I'd talk to anybody, but just a shit closer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as a kid, you can't really be a closer. Like, what's the close? Come back home with me. Let's go to the bar. Like, you can't do any of that shit.
Don't feel bad about that shit. Anything could happen, dude. Like fucking you don't know like. Whether we mock sex ed, but it's like, dude, it's there for a reason. It's like you don't know, like I didn't have a condom on me at the time. Like if something happened, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I've dated people who are kind of shy, and like after you finally get them to open up a little bit, they're like, there are times where like I've been into a guy and I just didn't have the guts to tell him. I'm like, look, we're super dumb. And you can literally go, do you want to go make out behind the tree? Like, people they're into it. Like,
it's shy ladies always blow my mind. I'm like, hey, just give me like I'm there. That's the craziest thing in the world. Be like, I always had a crush on you. I was like, bitch, say
Tell
words.
me. Yeah.
Come up to me.
Grab my junk.
There are many reasons why guys are dumb. It could be because like your confidence isn't really high enough to get the idea of, oh fuck, someone likes me, damn. Or they're
especially
like,
younger.
Yeah. In my case, it's because I grew up in a house full of women, and it was like, beaten into me from a young age. Like, hey, sometimes people just want to like they have like an extra chip. Like they're not trying to hit on you, or because they're asking you to like help them move this box. So So when like I missed so many opportunities where women were hitting on me, and I thought it was just like, oh, you need help moving the.
Oh, same. I think I firmly put myself in the quote unquote friend zone many a time just by especially in comedy, you don't want to be another comic trying to have sex with another comic.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to be that guy. Dude, they're getting cocks thrown at them fucking left and right, man. You don't want to be another one. So you gotta
work on your craft, man. You can't chase after pussy yet. Like you gotta be a headliner.
Do that when you're fucking, at least when you're featuring, you know?
Yeah, do it at like if you're gonna do that, do it at a real club. Don't do it at the fourth wall. What do you think you are?
Yeah, exactly.
Joe Menente. I'm just kidding. Joe.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm not kidding. I'm kidding, Joe. I'm kidding.
Go check out our Rocky episode if you want to see who Joe Menente is, because that was my favorite thing ever, where it took me 3 different attempts to explain to him what a podcast was and how it worked. Where he was like, wait, I don't get it. I'm like, okay, just tell me like movies or TV shows that you like. He's like, I like Metallica. I'm like,
No, did he say more or less? It's like an explosion on the airways.
Yeah, pretty much. The only way I was able to get it out of him was, frequent host on this show, Dan Grove, who had just recorded the first episode with us, was like, Joe, it's a thing where you go into a booth with them and talk about stuff. And he's like, oh, okay. I'm like, really? That's what got you over the edge? Okay.
You've ever seen elements like that? Okay, anyway, there's a story. We almost forgot about this story here.
Oh, yeah. Continue. I want to know about Ash's boner. Continue.
Oh, my God.
You're on Wow.
Let's see. Wow, Brock breathed. He hadn't been expecting this.
And I know, and that's not even the worst part of it.
Ash paused.
The worst part is that I really liked how she felt, and I thought about how I wanted to.
Brock held up a hand. I get the point, Romeo. I've been there myself, repeatedly, as a matter of fact. Ash hung his head again.
This is like Big Mouth for Pokemon.
I know. This girl was ahead of her time.
I'm going through changes. You just do that during the evolution screen for Pokemon. What? Pikachu is evolving. I'm going through changes. Congratulations, your Pikachu evolved into Raichu.
Into a hormone monster.
Oh yeah, lightning bolt.
I love Hormone Monster. It's so fucking funny.
Nice.
My dicks fell out.
I don't care that it's basically just Roger from American Dad.
Would you
down
like to
a few
use
octaves.
your handsome penis?
The key to making perfect tacos is to eat you out. I love that. Okay, anyway.
I'm gonna fuck you in the face.
If we find another character, please do them as the hormone monster.
Yeah. If there's a fuck, even if Misty comes back, do her.
All right. Okay.
Ash hung his head again.
I have to be the most awful guy on the planet.
He mumbled.
Missy's supposed to be my friend. I'm supposed to think about her like you do. Like a sister. What happened?
Brock was
A lot of sexual
dumbfounded.
repression right now.
What?
This girl's very religious. A lot of sexual repression going on right now.
Ash is very depressed.
So
He's like
maybe
a
this is just her way of getting it out on the page.
Yeah,
He's
man.
he's
She's
like
got a purity ring on currently. You know what I mean?
Oh,
She
God.
got married to Jesus.
Which, by the way, apparently the Catholic Church, this last week was like, hey, comes from God, so fuck whoever you want.
What?
Yeah, the Pope was like, fuck who
the new
you want,
Pope
guys.
Francis is like, he even said atheists can get into heaven, and I was like, boom, loophole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, dude, commandments. You're not killing anybody. You're fine.
Yeah, I'm just chilling, bro. It's fine.
Um,
Continue with the erection.
Let's see, Brock was dumbfounded. I'm really not the best person to talk to about this, but I think you might like Misty, Ash.
What?
Ash scoffed.
That's ridiculous! She gets on my nerves 99% of the time, and we're always fighting.
How long was Brock supposed to say unresolved sexual tension in a way that a 15-year-old would understand and he himself wouldn't gag? Well, sometimes you want to spend a long time with someone. You can start to feel things more than friendship for them without even noticing the difference. This hasn't really happened to me, though. Brock frowned.
Oh.
Maybe you and Misty have liked each other for a while, but you were too busy fighting to notice. Ash kept quiet for a while. He studied the ground carefully.
Can I tell you something, Brock?
He
Oh,
whispered.
yeah.
Of course.
That wasn't the first time something like that happened.
Ash admitted. He began blushing again.
I'm just imagining Ash is just the Cartman, just a fat, little kid.
Things have been happening to me lately. Strange things. I wonder things sometimes. And I had a dream about a Mantica, and Misty was in it, and...
Stop there, Brock said quickly, his stomach feeling queasy. I know all the signs, Ash. It's just a natural part of becoming a teenager. Ash buried his face in his hands.
Well, when do these feelings go away? When can I think about Misty normally again?
Brock hesitated. The truth is, Ash, that you might never think about her like that again.
There we go. Brock laying down that sage actual wisdom right there.
I mean, that's Brock for you. He's the Mr.
the
Rogers
Rock.
of Pokemon.
Brock also the horniest guy on the show.
Yeah, definitely.
He's like Quagmire that one time he gives Meg good advice about relationships.
Oh, the thing where he's like, send her my way, I'll tell her what to do. He's like, Meg, I've watched you grow from a...
Yeah. It's a beautiful monologue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stick around.
Ash is a lucky guy, dude. He has Brock, man. He's steering them the right path.
Ash moaned.
That's true.
What were you going to say?
No, keep going. I was going to say, true, he could be out there in the woods with a boner and no direction. You know what I mean? Nothing's
He's
worse than having a woods
masturbating like
boner.
a beast, just...
Whacking in my goddamn tool shed. Goddamn spider monkey.
I'm Brock. God damn it, Ash.
God damn it.
Damn it, Bobby. All right,
Your tone for King of the Hill or Hank Hill is spot on.
Who next?
Thank you.
Yeah, it's very nice. God damn it.
He hit himself on the head.
What's wrong with me?
Nothing. Brock gritted his teeth. Ash, like I've said, it's completely normal. Especially because Misty is the only girl you're around most of the time. Ash's head snapped up.
That's it?
He cried out.
Thanks, Brock. You made me feel a lot better.
What? Hold on a second, Ash. What did I help you with?
With my, with my problem.
Ash said, wording it delicately.
You see, I don't really feel about Misty that way. I just think I do because she's the only girl around, right? Gee, why didn't I think of that before?
Ash scratched the back of his head and laughed nervously. Ash, I don't think the two boys were interrupted by heavy footsteps walking through the brush. A few seconds later, Misty appeared with a handful of sticks and Togepi waddling behind her. She huffed when she saw Ash. All right, hormone monster time. Let's do it.
I brought the sticks that you asked for, Brock.
She said through gritted teeth. Brock jumped up and took him away from her. Thank you, he stuttered. He set them in the middle of the circle of rocks he built. I'll just light this up right away. Misty looked suspiciously at Brock. Then her eyes settled on Ash. They narrowed into little slits and clicked her tongue in annoyance.
What are you looking at? Nothing!
Ash said miserably. He looked back at the ground. A week and a half... What?
You go ahead, sorry.
Okay, a week and a half passed as the trio traveled through the forest. They were all at their wits' end when they finally reached the closest town. The first thing they did was check into a Pokemon Center with 3 separate rooms.
Oh.
Misty went inside of hers with the excuse of taking a nice long bath. Ash gritted his teeth as an image of Misty entered his mind. His heart pounded erratically. And he stomped in the lobby of the center. It was good that they were in town, and he would stay as long as they needed. He would see tons of girls his age, girls probably 10 times prettier than Misty, and he would release all his pent-up hormones. Then he and Misty could have a normal relationship again. So in order to get rid of my pent-up hormones, I need to fuck anything that moves. That's not actual dialogue.
They
but I
don't go
totally
back.
wish it was.
No, dude, this is kind of like what happened to Jimmy in South Park. Remember when he kept getting boners?
Oh, right.
He's like,
Oh, yeah.
All I have to do is just think about it. It's just learn. It's just have sex with a woman. That's all I have to do. But first, I have to take her out to dinner.
It'll be
It'll
fantastic.
be fantastic.
Do you like
yeah, I can take over narrator now.
Yeah, go for it.
Ash flicked on the TV. He stared blankly at it for a little over 15 minutes when Brock came over to sit by him. The usual red tint across his cheeks.
That nurse joy.
He chuckled to himself. She dummy thick. Ash was struck with a sudden thought. He jumped off the couch and marched right over to the counter where Nurse Joy was sitting at. He leaned over it and watched her. She was very pretty. There was no denying. He'd never really thought about it before. He smiled at her when she turned around.
I guess I'll be Nurse Joy.
May I help you?
Or not.
Do you have any Pokeballs, Peter?
She chirped politely.
Yeah.
Ash felt a sinking feeling.
No. I just wanted to say thank you. You know, for the rooms and stuff.
Nice.
For the rooms and stuff.
It's my pleasure.
Nurse Joy gave him a big smile and went back to her computer. Chansey waved cheerfully at them. Chansey! Ash's shoulders tensed as he walked over to where Brock was sitting. He crossed his hands across his chest spitefully and glared out the window. Ash was very confused. Why didn't he act like Brock did around Nurse Joy? Why didn't he feel any of the butterfreeze that he'd been feeling whenever Misty...
Did you speak in butterfreeze?
Yeah,
Yes.
like butterflies in your stomach.
Beautiful.
Butterfreeze in your stomach.
I'm calling it butterfreeze now.
Oh.
And I got butterfreeze in my tummy.
Well, you better set them free. And then cry for 3 hours. He sighed and rubbed his temples furiously.
I'm never gonna figure this out.
He groaned.
What?
Brock cocked his head and looked at Ash as if he just noticed him for the first time. I just like the way that's worded. Like, he just is oblivious to Ash. He goes, hey, what's up?
What?
Hey,
Oh,
where have you been here?
there's a person. Forgot
My
about
eyes are
you.
never open, so it's hard for me to see things.
Damn it, Bobby, don't sneak up on me like that.
Just make that Brock's voice. Just make it King of the Hill.
You want
So
me
I
to...
think
Ash
it's
stood...
I feel like it's becoming evident that he just, at the end of this, needs to bang it out with Misty. Because he didn't feel anything for Nurse Joy, right?
Yeah.
Got
Yeah,
nothing.
he didn't, no. He's got some red hot love, I guess.
He just
Ash shook his head.
told you they just needed to fuck.
Ash shook his head. Nothing. He knew that Brock, while useful at times, wouldn't listen with half an ear if Ash wanted to talk to him now. He stood up and stuffed his hand into his jeans.
I'm gonna go get something to eat.
Brock turned his head to eye Nurse Joy again.
You go on.
You go on.
He said distracted. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
It's supposed to be line.
Yeah.
Ash rolled his eyes and left the Poké Center. He trudged down the sidewalk slowly, kicking the ground whenever he felt like it, which was quite often. He stopped outside of a busy-looking restaurant and peered through the window. There were plenty of girls inside, pretty girls, too. Ash smiled happily and quickly opened the door. He stepped inside and stood at the doorway for a moment, surveying all of the people.
Do you need help?
Ash started. A pretty girl in Ash started. I think that they meant to say stared. A pretty girl in a waitress uniform was looking at him expectantly. Hold on. No, just trying to
It's Ash's
no.
voice.
You're just trying to decide where to sit.
He smiled nervously.
There's a booth right over there.
She pointed in a corner, and Ash obediently walked over to the table to sit down. A few minutes later, a similar-looking waitress came to offer him a menu. Ash ordered a sandwich with extra ketchup packets. While the food arrived, he stuffed the packages into his coat pocket to give to Pikachu when she got out of the Pokemon Center.
Oh yeah, because
You just
Ash
have
wa-
ketchup.
Pikachu likes ketchup.
Oh yeah, he does.
Anytime they've ever been in a restaurant, he squeezes the bottle.
Yeah.
Just a fact.
Is it in the Pokedex? Pikachu's like ketchup.
No, it's like a character trait with him. There's like an episode where they go to this town and like they're in a restaurant and Pikachu like discovers the ketchup bottle and he's like, "Oh, this is awesome! I love this."
Yeah, it's one of those things that while the dialogue's happening, it's happening in the background to distract you the entire time.
Yeah, so they're
Yeah.
talking and it's just like the shot of Pikachu like.
Oh, it's like, oh look, Pikachu's so relatable. I
Kind
like
of.
ketchup too.
Yeah,
I don't like
Ash
ketchup.
watched. Sorry, oh, I'm sorry.
I'm a ranch man.
Yeah, mustard and ranch, dude.
Mustard, various
Oh,
types
my.
of mayo / aioli. Those are pretty dope.
Ooh, an aioli is solid.
Yeah.
Dude,
Let's
that
just
was
talk
a
about food
Pokemon
for the
I
next 10 minutes. Just reminding me I'm very hungry.
Ash watched his waitress walk away and took a dejected bit of his hamburger. Hold on.
It's no use.
He said to himself as he chewed.
I guess Brock was right. Maybe I do like Misty.
Ash took another glum bite of his food. It tasted like cardboard and settled like a lump in his stomach. They stayed in that town for another week before it was decided that they should move on. Ash avoided Misty at all costs, and she didn't even seem to notice. For some reason, Ash found this infuriating. Probably for the same reason he kept thinking about her in a non-platonic way.
Hey, so I know Ash's whole goal is to be a Pokemon master or whatever, and he's like doing the gyms and the Pokemon League and stuff. What are the other two doing? They're just kind of there.
Well, Brock said a couple times he wanted to be a Pokemon breeder
But
because he
Yeah.
wants Yeah, that was his goal, and Misty is there.
Like, her excuse originally is that, like, I'm following you around until you pay me back for my destroyed bike.
Oh yeah,
That's right. That was why.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bike thing. What I mean, how much money are you making on the road battling? You get a badge. You don't get any cash, do you?
Yeah, actually, they just don't have money most of the time. They just have food and they camp.
So
places.
they're just eating Pokemon that catch. Like, okay, we caught 10 Pidgeys. Looks like we're having chicken.
I don't know if that's the case or if it's just like there's an extremely strong social safety net in the Pokemon world, and they're just like, yeah, this is what happens when we care about our citizens and not about capitalism.
I hope so. They actually have universal basic income in the
Yeah.
Pokemon world,
or at least for Pokemon they do.
yeah.
For UBI, maybe something else.
Fun fact: in the Japanese version of Sword and Shield, you can cook in all the versions, but in the Japanese version, you can make steak. And they took it out of every other version because they went to England, and everyone was very upset that the steak was there because they were like, "What's the steak made out of?"
Is it Tauros? Or
So you can only
Milton?
have it
Sadness?
in every other version of Sword and Shield.
God.
I'm almost glad they did that. I would rather just not think about it. If I'm being
It's a very
honest.
good point. I mean,
Yeah.
Is that like it's the like
carrots.
appropriation where it's like the rice ball? It's like this is a really good hamburger.
Yeah.
You know?
They never address what the other Pokemon eat. Like, you can't tell me that, like, you know, like an Incineroar is not tackling a Wooloo and just ripping it in half and eating it.
Yeah, they need protein.
There's some stuff in Pokedex entries like Heatmore from Gen 5. It's like this anteater that breathes fire, and then you have Durant, which is like a steel, and it says it eats Durants. So you know that there's like
Okay, so
carnivores in
they're
Pokemon.
eating motherfuckers. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, at least in that case, they're wild animals. You know, carnivores exist.
Also,
but-
in this story currently, Ash is going from place to place trying to get a boner. Is basically what he's trying to do, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I'm just needed to catch myself up.
he's gonna be.
It's okay. This is
a boner.
This is a young
monster.
boy's struggle with his own hormones, and he's not only going to catch Pokemon, he's catching adulthood.
That sounded like a fucking tagline for a Lifetime movie.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that
Hire
pilot
me.
might get picked up. I don't know if it'll go to season though.
There was another small forest ahead of them, and the trio was halfway through it when it started to get dark. Brock, as usual, sent Ash out to get firewood. Misty had gone to get water. Brock began to prepare the food.
Whoa,
Pick a
whoa,
pick
whoa,
a
whoa.
pick a pay.
Hold on. Go, Misty, to go get water. Pop out a Starmie and fucking spit it in a bucket.
I don't know if that is good. It would kind of be like if
That is piss.
Yeah,
not piss, but like just the kind of
that's a
thing
good
where
point.
like, hey, we
It
need
comes
water.
from a gland, right?
Yeah, or like spit in my mouth. That's kind of what I imagine it's like. Maybe.
Maybe it's salty like sweat. You know how humans are the only primates that can sweat liquid water? Maybe it's like that. It's just salty ass,
Oh, maybe.
undrinkable sweat
That's
water.
a lot of water.
It's a fuck ton of water.
I'm not sure what to
Star
tell
you.
honestly.
Starmie, they just tell us what's going on.
Good point. All right, I apologize for the interruption, but I just
No,
needed
no,
to
it's
throw this theory out there.
Legitimate question.
Okay, for the who should be who should I know who to make Pikachu. Pika Pika, Pika Pika.
Yeah.
Pikachu announced delightedly. Following Ash as he walked through the forest, she picked up smaller sticks and hummed to herself.
I wish I was that cheerful.
Ash muttered. He picked up a long branch and snapped it in two. God, Ash is a dickhead.
He's frustrated, or he's sexually frustrated.
Yeah.
Give the guy a break.
True, Bobby. Pikachu stopped and cocked her head to one side. Ash stopped moving too. He looked around him curiously.
What is it, Pikachu?
True! Pikachu clapped her paws together. She dropped all the sticks she'd been holding and scampered off. Ash groaned and picked them up before racing after her. I don't know whether to make Pikachu Bobby or Hank Hill. I don't know which one.
Hank's solid right now.
Hank is good. I just keep him as Hank.
Alright.
I think.
Okay.
Pikachu, what are you doing?
He asked breathlessly as he ran after the yellow Pokemon. His feet stumbled slightly when they reached a large bush. Pikachu had stopped running. She was looking curiously to the side of the bush. Ash groaned slightly. He got onto his knees and looked above the bush. What was Pikachu do? Oh, God. Ash felt his cheeks turn blood red. His eyes opened wide in his face, and his jaw dropped. Was that Misty?
Oh.
Pete? Ash clapped a hand over Pikachu's mouth. Shut it, or I'll put you in a Pokeball, he gritted out.
Which he's literally never threatened to do before, ever.
Yeah. No. Pikachu looked mortally wounded. She clamped down on Ash's hand hard. Ash struggled not to yell. He jerked his hand away from the Pokemon, and Pikachu went running. Ash breathed a sigh of relief when he saw that she was running away from Misty. Ash slowly turned back around to watch Misty again. She was swimming. Naked.
Oh, shit.
Oh, damn. Ash's throat clenched. Go! Boggle. His heart was pounding unsteadily, and his stomach was doing somersaults. His jaw was hanging loosely, and it felt very dry.
No.
Misty sat up. What?
I said it won't be for much longer.
Oh, damn. You need some water, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Misty sat up slightly, and the water pooled over the creamy skin on her chest.
Oh, God.
Ash nearly cried out as a strange, very pleasant, tightening feeling entered his groin. He was mesmerized by the sight of Misty, and he couldn't tear her eyes away from the life of him. Misty lied backwards in the water and scrubbed at her scalp. Ash stood up a little bit to better see her through the green branches. He was lucky she hadn't spotted him before then. Ash didn't know how long he watched her. It seemed an eternity for him when in actuality it was probably mere minutes. Misty started to stand up in the water, and Ash was greeted by the sight of a completely naked Misty standing with water gathering around her ankles. She started to walk to the bank of the creek. Ash gulped.
Hang on. So, Brock told Misty to get water, and she's like,
getting good.
I'm gonna get naked.
Fucking buck-ass naked.
Yeah.
And swim around in the water that I'm gonna be bringing to people.
You know, it with my pussy juice.
Okay. Good job, Cardi B. That would be like if I was like with my roommate, she's like, hey, can you, like, when you go to the grocery store, can you pick up this? I'm like, yeah, sure.
I have the water. I might as well take a dip.
I mean, how often can you shower when you're camping in the woods, hunting, fighting pokes? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I just hope we don't get like the sad.
That's just Misty's, like hot girl privilege. She thinks she can just take off her shirt wherever she wants and swim wherever she wants.
Actually, if anything, I feel like I would be less inclined to do that because
get with it, Misty.
Who knows who's lurking out there? Whatever, just keep going.
Yeah, I'm thinking of narrating this as Ben Shapiro for the rest of this.
So vaginas don't get wet, right?
Ash gulped. He stared in his hands at his knees, and he crawled away until he reached the covers of the trees. Then he took off running.
He didn't stop until he was out of breath. He sat down heavily on a log. His head fell into his hands as the image of Misty entered his mind again. He felt that tightening feeling once more. Ash looked down as his eyes widened. There was something. Oh, right. Ash closed his eyes and fell backwards into the foliage. This sucks, he groaned through a hand over his eyes. This really, really sucks. Oh yeah, getting a boner sucks, dude. Ash spent another 15 minutes moping. He finally gathered the energy to walk back to camp. He didn't know if he could face Misty, and he'd pissed Pikachu off, too. Life was not treating him well. Ash entered the clearing they were staying at slowly. Brock was sitting by a fire, and Misty was on her sleeping bag, brushing through her wet hair. The thought of Misty in that pool nearly made that thing happen to Ash again. But he shut his eyes tightly and pushed the thought away. No, he couldn't. He wouldn't. Misty'd kill him if she ever found out.
Where have you been?
Brock asked, looking up.
I sent you out an hour ago. When Pikachu came back, I started getting worried. He seemed grumpy, so I figured you got in a fight.
Yeah, Ash said, dazed. Did you ever get any firewood? Misty pointed out. Ash glared at her. Mostly he was mad because she'd pointed out what an idiot he was. He left all the sticks he and Pikachu picked up by the creek. I saw that Brock... saw that Brock... Who says this?
I think it's Ash.
I saw that Brock already had a fire going and dropped him off. There.
Ash pointed in the direction he'd come from. Misty raised her eyebrows doubtfully. Right. She began to twist her hair up into a ponytail. I think you were out there daydreaming about becoming a master for the past hour. You probably yelled at poor Pikachu for trying to help.
He was probably dreaming about Master something.
Master Bader.
Masturbating. She tossed a smile.
I'm going to be a Pokemon masturbator.
I've been going for that for a long time. I only have 2 badges. Ash pointed in the direction he'd come from. Misty raised her eyebrows doubtfully. Right. She began to twist her hair. Oh, I already said that.
Yeah.
She tossed a smile at the yellow Pokemon resting on Ash's sleeping bag. Pikachu nodded. Cole? She replied. Her cheeks started to crackle when she looked at Ash. Ash held his hand up.
Pikachu, no!
It was too late. Ash felt the familiar feeling of being electrocuted. Damn, he muttered to himself when he realized he was on the ground. Misty was standing over to him. Serves you right. She giggled. I want to do like Hormone Monsters if she ever comes into the story later. But we don't have a lot of time. But
Yeah.
When Misty was standing over him, serves you right.
she giggled. Ash's eyes, he had a perfect view right up. He jumped up and started to rub the back of his neck, furiously, his cheeks bright red.
So, yeah.
Brock cleared his throat.
Smiling through his boner.
Brock cleared his throat. Dinner's ready.
Dinner!
Ash practically leapt over to where the fire was just another.
I'm just hungry, that's all.
He grabbed the bowl that Brock offered him and gulped down its contents in a few seconds. Slow down, Ash, Misty said, irritated. She carefully sat down. Togepi came over to sit on her lap and chirped and greeting to everyone. Oh, did my baby want some too? I'm imagining Togepi as like a dick, like just walking over.
Oh my god,
Like
there's
those
a
furry
cat.
Dicks. Oh, cat.
I have a visit from my
It's
own
Litten.
Pokemon.
Got a Litten there.
It is.
Who's the cat?
That's my cat Darkness. I named her Darkness.
Oh, like from Rick James, that bit.
Yeah.
Oh, my darkness!
Darkness. Yeah.
Kitty.
You're cold as ice.
Yeah. We are the blackest things in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Darkness.
All right. Let's get to a good stopping point.
Oh man, okay.
Are we gonna part 2 this?
No.
I know that sad this has to end. This is great.
Yeah.
Oh, does my baby want some too? Misty cooed. Togepi nodded, and Misty gave her Pokemon a tiny sip. Togepi's like,
Oh, yes, I want a sip. I'm the Jewish penis.
Oh my god.
Ash reached out for more of the soup, and Brock poured him some automatically.
I think that's me. I love the life of a Pokemon trainer. He sighed, drinking some of his own soup. I love being in a forest with only you, the Pokemon, and nature.
That line wasn't very clear.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that's correct.
I can't wait to get back into town.
Misty said. She laughed.
Although I don't mind. Although I don't mind in the forest as much as I used to, it's almost pleasant.
Oh my god.
I just can't wait to get another badge.
Ash said, his eyes glazing over slightly. Misty sighed.
Is that all you ever think about, Ash?
Bad.
No,
Ash said defensively.
I think about other stuff.
Oh yeah, like what?
Misty challenged. Ash's eyes widened. He certainly couldn't tell her about that. He grunted.
Your stuff, okay?
Whatever you say, Ash.
Misty laughed.
I'll have the porn tab open later,
Oh my god.
in case you need it. She didn't actually say that, sorry.
Oh, shut up.
Ash said good-naturedly.
You two seem to be getting along all right tonight, Brock commented. He looked at the surrounding trees. Would you guys mind if I went for a stroll?
That voice is legit hurting my throat.
What, Hormone Monster or...
No, I can
Carmen.
keep doing it. Hold on. Would you guys mind if I went first roll?
Go right ahead.
Misty said quickly. You don't get enough time to yourself, Brock. Oh no. Brock quickly swallowed the rest of his dinner
Are they going to be alone?
and stood up. I'll be back in a while, okay? Don't wait up if you get tired. I'll be fine.
All right, see ya.
Ash called, waving as his friend disappeared through the trees. This is like the reverse equivalent of, let's split up, gang. Like,
Let's leave you kids alone.
Yeah.
God, if
Take a
only,
walk.
like, yeah. Considering the conversation he had with Ash earlier, you'd think he'd go, I'm not leaving you two alone for a second.
No, man, he's trying to throw a bro a bone. A bro bone.
Brock is a bro.
Cubone.
Oh, yeah.
Throw him a Cubone.
Yeah.
Throw him a
Misty,
cube. A
Misty-
bone.
Misty smiled at Ash as he turned around.
We are getting along fairly well tonight.
She said pleasantly. She sat backwards on her elbows.
Of course, I'm still feeling relaxed from our stay in town.
Did you understand a word I said?
Yeah, I'm still
Okay.
relaxed from our stay in town. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Ash said. He couldn't seem to think of anything else to say to her, especially after what he'd seen earlier. He winced. He felt dirty.
Dirty.
Why did he
Good
have to
boy.
watch Misty like that? His cheeks were flushing at every memory. Misty seemed not to notice.
So you do want to play a game?
She asked. She flopped onto her belly and reached for her backpack to dig through it.
Oh, fuck.
I think I have a deck of cards in here somewhere.
Ash's mouth went dry. Her shorts were entirely too short.
Ooh.
They always are.
Sure.
He squeaked.
Cards? What fun!
Misty sat back with a box of cards in hand. She was frowning slightly. Sorry.
You've been acting awfully strange. Is something bothering you?
Ash's eyes widened.
No!
Misty didn't look convinced as she began to deal the cards.
You can talk to me, you know, Ash. I bet we don't always get along, but I still consider you my best friend.
No, friends aren't.
I don't think I can to you about this.
Ash muttered under his breath. Misty arched an eyebrow.
Oh yeah? Try me.
She said, she smiled smugly. Yeah, try me. Jesus Christ.
It's nothing.
Pikachu scurried over. Chew Pika.
Pikachu, copy.
Pikachu announced, waving his little paws between Ash and Misty. Ash laughed nervously.
That's right, Pikachu. Misty and I are playing a game.
God, imagine Pikachu being like a total cock block for Ash.
I feel like he's trying to narc him out. Like, he watched your titties out, bitch. Like, Pikachu, don't you fucking narc.
Pikachu's iced tea now in this.
Yeah, Pika Pika Ka Chew.
Pikachu glared at Ash. He gave him a pleading look. Pikachu sized him up. He decided that Ash was just being dumb, so he settled on his shoulder to watch the game that was about to unfold.
Aww,
Misty giggled.
how cute.
She reached up to pat the Pokemon on the head. Sorry.
Okay, let's play now.
Ash and Misty soon got into the game, and Ash's competitive nature made him forget, mostly, about what he'd seen earlier. They played for a good half hour before Ash finally won. Ash laughed joyously and stuck his arm in the air. Pikachu mimicked his move.
I won!
Ash cried out.
Yes!
This guy's never getting laid.
Misty wrinkled her nose.
You know, you don't have to act so conceited.
She said, but the comment was made half-heartedly.
All right.
Ash rubbed his hands together.
Where's my prize?
Oh, shit.
Your prize?
Misty's eyes gleamed.
Oh, you want a prize, do you? Well, yeah.
Ash said bluntly.
All right, Ash Ketchum. I'll give you your prize.
Misty
Misty
leaned
leaned-
forward and began to tickle Ash's sides. The move sent the two into a... sent the two into a whirlwind of laughing, screeching, and tickling that went on for several long minutes. The fight would have gone on for longer, but it was brought abruptly to an end when they seemed to realize at the same time what position they were in. Ash had his hands clamping Misty's arms above her head and stretched her out in a half circle over his chest. She was straddling his hips, rendering his legs useless. They were both laughing cheerfully when their eyes met. Then everything ended.
Okay, this isn't joking. Like, when a girl does that for when you're at summer camp, like, there's nothing better than that. Like, there's both, you're not sure if you like her or if she likes you, and then that shit happens, and then and then now things lead to things. It's the best.
And any touching is game on. It's usually how that works. No, if you don't like someone, you're just not gonna fucking touch them. That's just the end of story. You know what I mean? If you get to Tickletown, bro,
you get to that, and it's like, come to my window.
Oh yeah, I'll be home.
Can you feel the love tonight?
Exactly.
This is normally longer than an episode normally goes, but I feel like we should let's do this.
Down. We're almost at the climax, because I mean I've been about to come for a minute now. So
in more ways than one, I'm sure.
Dude, look how puffed up he is. He's about to come all that out.
Ash's breath caught in his throat. He gulped dryly. Misty looked as scared as he did. Ash could feel her breasts brushing against his chest.
Oh shit!
He managed to think as he felt the now familiar tightening. He closed his eyes, then gulped again, just waiting for Misty to start yelling. She didn't start yelling, but Ash heard her gasp. He figured that she'd felt it.
The dick.
He took it out. No, and he let his hand slacken around hers.
She felt his polka dick!
He expected her to leap away from him, but she still stayed on top of him. Ash opened an eye slowly. Misty was looking at him with shock. When she saw he was looking at her, she struggled to speak.
I'm sorry.
Ash said quickly. He sat up suddenly. Instead of throwing Misty off him, it just brought them closer. He was sitting, and she was still straddling his hips. Ash's heart began beating hard again, as his eyes took on a life of their own and stared directly at her lips. Ash noticed that Misty's breathing also seemed irregular. He could feel the heat radiating off of her, and he shut his eyes tightly. Where had all his confidence gone? This time, Misty's whisper sent shivers up Ash's spine. He tightened his eyes as the feeling in his groin intensified. Without thinking, or maybe with the wrong kind of thinking, Ash leaned forward blindly. His nose bumped against Misty's cheek. Misty tilted her head, and then it happened. Her lips connected with his in a heated fusion.
Heated fusion?
At first, they stood still.
Fusion? Ha!
Their lips barely brushing. Then Misty let out a strangled sound and wrapped her arms around Ash's neck. Ash kept one hand on the ground supporting him, but used the other to settle on the small of her back. As they moved closer, their lips moved soundlessly. Then something happened that Ash never could have imagined. Misty opened her lips against his, and he felt her tongue flick out.
Shit!
Lick a tongue!
He groaned loudly at the sensation.
Misty used lick.
Lickitung's my favorite Pokemon just because of how stupid it looks.
Super effective.
It was at this point he lost it. Ash kissed Misty like that for a long time, exploring with his lips as Misty ran her hands along his back and through his hair. He was too afraid.
Rocket's for sure jerking off in the woods. Peeping through the woods, just like, oh, fucker.
Oh, yeah, Onyx, let me get a good view. Let me sit on top of you.
Yeah. You'd be quiet, Onyx, even though you're a 30-foot rock monster. Very quiet.
Ash kissed Misty like that for a long time. Oh, right. He was too afraid to do more but clutch her to him.
Pegasus!
Misty jumped. Misty jumped at the sudden intrusion, and she fell backwards onto the ground in front of Ash's legs. Ash and Misty looked up guiltily as Brock walked into the clearing, a small smile on his face. "Hey guys, what's up?"
Nothing.
Misty squeaked.
Nothing.
Ash agreed. He was trying to figure out a way to get into his sleeping bag without Brock noticing the evidence of their nothing jutting out of his pants. Ash groaned inwardly. Why did he have to have this problem? Being a guy sucked. Big time. Ash glanced at Misty, looking flushed and out of breath. A slow smile crawled up his lips. Okay, maybe things didn't suck that bad.
That bad.
That's the story.
That's it, man. Oh man, he gets blue balls in a hammock or in a sleeping bag.
What did you think of the story?
You know what, man? This girl's horny.
Yeah.
All the bat.
Yeah, Haley Jane Bat.
How old do you think this girl was when she wrote this? Does it say?
Well, this was written in 2003, so who knows?
Okay, well, I'm gonna guess at the oldest, my age, which would have been 13 at that time.
Yeah, she's
Probably
like in her
younger
30s now. In her 30s
Yeah,
now.
just turned 30, you know. Probably posted this on the internet a long time ago, forgot it was there, and you found it, guys.
We didn't read the little caption at the beginning of the story, which is, Ash is starting to turn into a teenage boy, and we all know what that means. He, however, is constantly confused by what's happening to him whenever he's around Misty.
I do think it's a very, because it's written from the female perspective, a very sweet thing that he wasn't getting the same bone when he went and saw the other pretty ladies. He only had a bone for Misty, which we all know is usually not the case when you're 13. It's just like, like at any moment.
My parents' couch is made of corduroy. Why now? You know.
Yeah.
Fallopian?
Yeah.
Honestly, it wasn't that. It was like a pretty good story in and of itself. Like some grammar stuff, and it was fine for what it was.
Sweet, you know.
I like the author's note. This is my first Pokemon fic, and I'm not exactly a master in the area of info. I apologize for any inconsistencies. I tried.
I think she could have used some better verbiage for
she tried, alright.
Penis getting hard. You know what I mean? Like tightening his groin. I'm like, no, come on, throw me something better. You know
this
what I mean?
Is probably like
swelling of his pride. You know, that's a good one. That's a.
I mean, your theory of like it's like somebody raised in Catholic school and this is how they get the aggression out.
Yeah,
so maybe it's like I can't say penis. It's a sin, you know.
Yeah.
I can't get it out of my penis tip. I have to get it out of my pencil tip.
God.
Thank you guys. I'll be here all night.
Yeah. Oh my God. Travis Clyburn, thank you so much for coming on Bad
Thanks for having me, guys.
Where can people find you out there on the interwebs?
I'm at Clyburn Comedy in all platforms, from the Twits to the Insta to the probably even on Snapchat. I don't do that anymore, but you know, you can add me if you want, you know. But yeah, at Clyburn Comedy. And that's it. This is about it. You can find me. Look
Nick,
me up,
how about
guys.
you?
You know what I mean?
Cool.
Send me your Pokeball pics.
Cool.
What'd you
You
say?
can find me at Millennial Comic.
On just Instagram, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then you can find me at Atlas Novak on Twitter, Instagram, or you can find this show at Bad Reading Pod in the same places. And if you want to help support the show, patreon.com/badreadingpod. 4 different tiers. They're all named after shitty tropes in fiction. Help support the show, all that good stuff. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Wash your freaking hands, and have a good night.
Reach.